Striker Scorpion 82 is now sponsored by Warhammer Combat Cards, a card battle game featuring your favourite Citadel miniatures from the 40k universe. Build your army decks, dominate opponents in player versus player action, collect and upgrade cards to fit your strategy, improve their power and unlock unique traits. Choose from all 40k factions, take part in campaigns based on iconic 40k battles, rise to the top of the leaderboard and win glory. Free to download and play, link is in the video description below or on the channel homepage, and by using the unique link it helps support the channel. Thanks and enjoy the game. Right, welcome to the start collecting video for the Drukhari. So I've recently just revamped my Drukhari army, introducing a number of units, really refining the list and bringing it fully up to date for the codex that's come out for 8th edition and for chapter approved 2019 as well. So my Drukhari army had been shelved for a while. It's got an additional 2 behind, and I was sort of patching armies together to play games, but now it's fully revamped. I'm very happy with it. Painted up some new models. Going to get a chance in this video here to zoom in. We'll take a good look at the models themselves. This is all about actually collecting the faction, to see the actual strategy behind the entire list and see the whole army and gradually build it up and all the points and so on. Then check out the complete army video, and that's just the whole list, the whole strategy and structure of that is covered in that video. So, Drukhari, I've had these for a good number of years now. I always like the look of the models. The previous collection or range that Games Workshop had, the models are pretty awful. Some people like the style of them, but they were one of the worst looking factions out there. But then Games Workshop revamped the entire range, brought them out in plastic, and they truly are amazing models now. And then just recently some new models have come along. So Drazar, Master of Blades, have just recently finished painting up, is complete. So some nice models just to freshen the Dark Eldar up once again. So they are a fascinating army to collect. Maybe you're looking for something a little bit, like this Eldar, this Harlequins, but the Drukhari, something a bit more sinister about them, sort of a darker tone to those, even as you can see in the colour scheme that I've gone for here. So I mean that might appeal to you. Very fast army, what many would call glass hammer army, so they can be very hard hitting, but they can shatter quite easily. So you have to think of ways to compensate for that as you use them in your games. So I'm going to zoom in here first. We'll take a look at some of the models because I'm going to talk about the colour scheme and the painting technique that I've used to paint these up. So I thought I'd start with Drazar, Master of Blades. I've partly turned into a Necron here. I've been spraying up some new Adeptus Mechanicus models, and the spray's gone all over my hand, so forgive the silver thumb here on this video. But there he is, painted up. And you see the glinting, glistening armour. Very happy with the varnish. So that's the Militarum varnish that Games Workshop have. It's just a nice sort of satin shade, excellent for metallics. So if you can, and you want to follow this colour scheme along, then try and use the Militarum varnish. It just really enriches the metallics. But there he is. He's painted up not in the standard colour scheme as you see in the book, but my own colour scheme here that I've adapted and painted him up for. But very happy with the armour. See that armour just there? I'll just show you in the book. Just the front cover artwork. So this kind of it's metallic armour, but it's got all these tones here. There's blue, green tones working through it, and sort of dark alien kind of armour that's going on here. I wanted to try and replicate it. I don't want to copy the entire colour scheme, but I always love the idea of this darker armour. So I tried to replicate that as best as I could in the colour scheme that you see just here, and I think it's come out pretty good. So, I mean, you can check out the full painting tutorials on the channel here, and you can use the exact same technique to paint up Drozar and the other models. And then on the Plus channel, there's the in-depth painting tutorial, which you can rent if you wish, or purchase that video individually if you need that to help you with your painting, or you can subscribe normally to the Plus channel and get access to all of the videos. But that's an in-depth painting tutorial, and I'll show you how to paint one of the Venoms, one of the vehicles, using the same process, and you can see it just there. But it's pretty much spraying the model silver, not the base, but the model are sprayed silver, and then putting a series of washes over the top, so the green wash, blue wash, and then re-highlighting with the silver, and that gives you that alien sort of look for the armour. Very happy with how that's come out, and that technique seems to have gone on just fine, even for this new model that's come out. And mate, look at the base. I mean, great work from Games Workshop to add in that extra base and just to really lift this model up, and that nice good sized base for him as well. Real focal point, real feature for your army to have these great sculpted characters. So there's the Master of Blades. I'll show you my archons. So that's that one. This is some of the lead sculpts that came out when Games Workshop revamped the Drukhari. So this one is in lead. I'm sure you better still pick them up. I think they came as a blister pack of 2. So there's this one. This is plastic though. And so too is this arm with the pistol. But the main body's in metal. I'm not sure, maybe Games Workshop still produce them in fine cast perhaps. And then that's the other one. Just there, entirely different, wearing a helmet. This bit at the back's metal. But again, same technique. And I went for some nice spot colours here. So nice lime green used just to brighten the model up. And then I chose a colour for the hair, went for blue. You can go for any colour you want, orange, red, shades of pink and purple and so on. You can pick and choose whichever colours you want. And then for them being sort of, didn't want them being too rich looking almost, but pirate kind of feel. So I went for a kind of more of a neutral tone here for cloaks and clothing and so on, just to really let the other colours stand out, not to contrast it too much, bring in another colour. So I went for more of a neutral tone, just there. But there he is. I'll show you some of the regular Carbolite warriors, which that again, the armour comes up nice. Just there. This is one of the ones I painted. One of the early ones I painted. See the neon green. The fluff for these, sort of made up my own colour scheme, and I imagine them as sort of Necron hunters. So they hunt Necrons, and then the poisoned weapons they use sort of nanotechnology, and it's there to sort of short circuit and specifically to go after Necrons. So that's the kind of idea I was thinking of. They hunt the Necrons in the depths of the galaxy, and so that's the kind of colour scheme I went for. A nice lime green, sort of a nice poisonous kind of colour. I think it matches in quite well. So, just a couple hours. The plastic kits are fantastic. You really can go for some brilliant options. You can mix and match in with the witches and warriors crossing over. For example, so this guy here. See that blade? I think that's a witch from the witch kit, and you can just swap it in and match them up. Like so. Some of the old incubi, however they're pronounced. There's one of them, that's one of the old lead models. I'm going to paint up. They have the plastic ones, I'll get those painted up. But even the old lead ones still do the job, look good. Show you some of the witch models. This one's armed with a shard net and impaler. The idea of hunting stuff and torturing and pillaging and so on. It's the theme going on with these. Again, the witch models are pretty good. I'm just painting the skin tones, same colour as the bone. I want a sort of a washed out look of these. Sort of an elfy flesh kind of colour. There's another one. There's a Hecatrix, one of the squad leaders. The witches, just marked with a banner on top, and these weapons here. Just painted up this one, Succubus. Brilliant plastic kit. And then there's a coin just underneath here, just stuck inside, just to weigh it down a little bit. Stop it from tipping over during the game, because the base is quite small, the model spread out so much. And then you have units like the Reavers, the jet bikes. So with these, with all of the vehicles and units with panels, I painted sort of a circuit board style, and I took the two spot colours, the blue and the neon green, and then split them. Just thought that'd be an interesting way to do it. Just a scheme going on for these. So just random patterns going on here. Usually these lines going around and just entirely random. So you look at it this side, it's the green. Look at the other side, it's the blue. Sort of quite like that idea. So you can really go for some bizarre markings. You know, got real license to do what you want. I thought they looked quite good once they're all lined up. Each one's different, so it sort of gives you an idea of what you can do with these. I love these models. These Reaver models are fantastic. Some beautiful models for the Drukhari for sure. That's the Reavers. Then you start going up onto the lighter transports, the small transports. You have things like Venoms, so little 5-man transports that they have. In something like that. Again, you see I've put a couple of dark panels on, and then some of those markings, green on one side, blue on the other. But you're free to, you know, you can take my colour scheme that I've gone for, and you can swap out the washes. So I used Bieltan green, Drakenhof Nightshade, I think it was for the blue. The green went on first, then the blue, and then picked out with the silver. You could swap that around. You could use a purple wash, red, yellow, you know, whatever wash you want to do. You could do one wash, you could do multiple colours. I went for blue and green just to get that nice tone running through, and then just re-highlight with the silver. And then here I picked out black panels. You could change the panel colour to something else, and spot colours you could swap out to red, orange, blue, yellow, shades of pink, whatever you want to go for. But just an impact these colours make here, these spot colours just added on. You don't have to, but I thought it was a nice thing to brighten these up, to create a nice strong theme for this Drukhari force. But there's the vehicles, there's the windows. Show you how to do all of that in the in-depth painting tutorial on the Plus channel. Then again, going up in scale is one of the Raiders. So a lot of people don't paint the crew. I think it's a shame. It is more effort to paint them, but I think they look pretty cool. Yeah, they're well sculpted by Games Workshop, and they just bring the whole transport to life. So there's that guy hanging off. It's very cool. I mean, a lot of people will paint them even without any crew firing the gun or steering the ship, which I think is a shame. So I've added the crew in, and his spear's a bit bent. I've added the crew in. Very happy with how it's turned out. Like so. I'll show you the other one. The other one I went for witches on it, which I think comes in with the set, so you can swap them out, witches or warriors. And there's a couple more. You can move them around the vehicle, so each one looks different, posed differently, like so. But I think the crew hanging off the edge, it's so, you know, if you had like 8 crew hanging off, it just look brilliant. Have them loaded up, but 3 on there's okay, plus the 2 crewmen. So there you go, same process. And look, see, I put the colour scheme, the markings just on there, and then there's blue on the other side. Sometimes it intrudes across onto the panelling just to merge and blend the whole thing. Then I'll show you the Ravager. It's a similar kind of vehicle, but it's sort of a transport, it's your heavy guns, so like 2 sponsons hanging off the side. Again, put markings on them, provide a bit of firepower support. And the deck, you see the deck just there, it's that bronze colour of the washes and then highlighted again, and just showing you underneath. And then you have things like these flyers, which are quite glorious. Here, this is a Void Raven bomber, and then there's the crew inside, and it's a double window, so you get one window here and then you get a window on the other side, and you can see right through, and all the sighting equipment. There's this guy that controls the bomb doors. You fly over the target and he lines it up, and then he drops the Void Raven bomb. This one here, this one is one use only weapon. And then I've gone for lances, Void Lancers on this one. And again, the markings for the jet, one colour on one side, one colour on the other. Just remember to always paint on the same side, otherwise you'll get them muddled up. So green on the left in this case. And then you can see the washes there, blue and the green. The way it glints, that's that Militarum varnish there. Nice satin finish, just enhances all of that metallic colours without killing it off. So there's a nice sheen off of that, which I'm very happy with. And there's the underneath of the vehicle just there. And then similar kind of thing, the Razor Wing jet fighter. Same kind of idea. There's all the rockets and missiles. Then with the windows, I had previously, a few people have seen this in the videos. This one's the one I painted a few years ago. I stuck it using super glue. Nightmare, look what's happened. It's misted up there, like a white haze. It's not too bad, but it's a shame that it's gone like that. So the next time around, I've used PVA glue, and it seems to have stuck just fine. If you dab enough of it on around the edge and just drop it in, and it seems to glue, just the PVA will stick, the paint to the paint will stick. And I haven't had any issues with that. You don't get that strange misty colour that you can get from the super glue. But that's a close-up view here. Yeah, I want to show you this one actually, just to show you how cool Venoms look when you put the crew on there. I just love the look of that one. The witch is hanging off the side of that as well. Just a bit of extra effort, but I'd recommend it just to add that effect. It looks pretty good. So I hope it's giving you a pretty good idea of what you can expect from the collection. I'm showing you Witch Cult and Carbals here, but there's another, there's Homunculus Covens as well, which is an entirely different playstyle, almost an entirely different faction, almost a complete different style that they have. You can pick and choose, you can merge the whole lot together, you can do a bit of each in your army. You go exclusively for a Carbal style army, exclusively a Witch Cult. So within the Drukhari, there's massive options for variation. You can really go for some very strongly themed lists, and you know, two armies, one Drukhari army can look entirely different to another. You know, it's not like Space Marines where, you know, it's whatever you do at Space Marines, but for Drukhari, it's some very, very different units and different styles of play and stats, extremely different from one unit to the next. So plenty of variety available. Painting wise, this technique's pretty good. You could easily spend ages on the Drukhari for sure. You know, if you're going to start highlighting all of that armour individually. For the armour here, I sort of picked out the main parts, but I didn't methodically pick out every single bit of plate armour, just the main rises and areas I wanted picked out. And that saves time. If you just pick out the key areas with that, then the colour scheme's not too bad. I mean, it's going to take a bit longer than, say, a Necron army, for example. That's a pretty fast process. These are about average. Not too bad. Not going to be half as bad as Harlequins. They're going to take a while. But Drukhari, the colour scheme I've used, happy enough. The new units that I've been painting up, that Void Raven Bomber, the new one, a couple of evenings, about 2 evenings, got that painted up. Base colours, paint them on. You know, because I'm spraying the whole model silver. So look, I mean, immediately you've got a whole chunk of it done. I spray it silver, then I spray it varnish. That means the washes will go straight on. Then I'm picking out the black, picking out the bronze, and then, you know, I'm straight onto washes. You know, it's just pretty quick that way. It's just not too bad. It looks quite intricate, but it's not too bad. And these patterns, you can do them if you want to, but I think they're a good addition to add. And again, you get used to doing them. They don't take too long, just straight lines. So I found them not too bad. Not too bad at all. Obviously, the models here look fragile. They are fragile, so that's one aspect to it. Perhaps if you're a bit of a butterfingers and clumsy and not the best for packing your models, Drukhari might not be the army for you, because they can snap quite easily. Found in packing models like this, the most dangerous thing is models knocking against each other or getting intertwined and bits snapping off. I haven't had too many breakages here, to be honest. Only a handful of breakages have taken place. You know, things that do stick out often have quite a bit of flex on them. So these flags stick out, but look at the flex on that. See? So, you know, it goes in a box, something lands on top of it. There's a fair bit of bend. And then the bits that do break, if that flag snapped off, I might just cut it off at the base and just leave it and not worry about it, trying to fix it and it keep breaking and so on. So once you get something that's plastic and it's broken, it's quite hard to maintain it after that. But not too bad, really. For breakages, decent boxes and generous amounts of bubble wrap, just lightly wrapped around, seems to work just fine for these. And I've even taken this army on an aeroplane in a suitcase, and I think apart from one break, there's a small bit of a banner, the rest of the army is intact. So it is possible to transport them, but you do consciously need to be careful. So talked a bit about the practical aspects of the army, painting them up, transportation, storage. The size of your army is about average, really. There's a fair amount of vehicles in this one, so it's average, not as big as maybe a Tyranid army, but large enough. A lot of cheap transports. Your army can expand out in size a fair bit, and it can end up with a fair bit of paint to do. If you've got small units plus a vehicle and then multiple times, because this army here, if you see it in the full complete army video, you stand back and look at it, it's 3 big jets, transports, bikes, infantry. There's a fair bit to it, so it's a decent enough sized army. A lot of our units are quite cheap in points. And then for play style, if you like having an army that's entrenched and solid and a defensive type army, then Drukhari is not really the army you want to go for. This is a fast army, very manoeuvrable, and one where you try and conjure up a really good plan, try and survive and withstand as much damage as possible, and then get stuck in and try to figure out a strategy where you're able to deliver a killing blow without getting destroyed in the process. They are a challenge, but they're powerful enough. Drukhari, one of the highly rated factions out there, very, very powerful. They can boast some deadly firepower. They can be deadly in close combat, and I think if you're quite clever, then you can try and stop that glass hammer effect from taking place and the whole army falling apart, which has happened to me plenty of times in previous editions. But there's a lot of bonuses and stratagems and things out there that can help your army be a bit more durable. I mean, for example, all of these vehicles, even the flyers, the raiders, the venoms, they've all got a 5+ invuln save. That's very helpful. 1/3 of the damage coming through, at least you're going to be able to block it on a 5+. The venoms have -1 to hit them. Very helpful. Your soft infantry, which can be blown away so easily, you put them inside your transports. Now the opponent's got 2 layers to try and get through to wipe them out. And then the cardboard I've chosen is 6+ to ignore damage. It's like a 6+ feel no pain across all the vehicles, and that really helps as well. So there's little tricks like that, some stratagems that can help you out as well. But you can check out the full army video just to see all my tactical discussion on that issue of trying to protect these and stop them from shattering whilst they're on the battlefield. So all in all, I do like my Drukhari collection. I've been shelved for a while, and the army started to get a little bit tired, and an edition went past, and then just a few months ago started to use them in games just with what I had, and played some battles. They're over on the Plus channel, some very enjoyable games, learnt a lot, and you found that when you get playing with an army again, you start to enjoy using it, you start seeing potential, you start seeing where the changes can happen, and so I've gradually developed a list. It's taken a while, and again that was over on the Plus channel in the army development videos, and then I think I found a list that works pretty good. It's this army here, and then so painted up the required units, and I finally got it done. And then the icing on the cake was Games Workshop revamping some of the models and bringing out that Drozar model. Incredible sculpt, really good, and that was the icing on the cake to get this faction up and running. So I painted through as fast as possible, and I managed to get these finished. So that's the video. I hope that gives you a bit of an introduction to the Drukhari, to give you an idea of the way they play, the way you can paint them up, the size of the army and so on, all those kind of things, just to help you out, just to help you scout out the possibility of getting into this faction here. But they are quite unique compared to any of the other factions out there. Not really like Eldar, and not really like the Harlequins. They are their own faction with their own style and their own unique units for sure. Check out the comments below. If you're an experienced Drukhari player and you've got your own advice, then leave that in the comments section to help out others. And if you are watching this, take on board what I've said, but then check out the comment section, because there's going to be some very experienced Drukhari players that will have their own take on this faction as well, and talk about things like tactics, building the army, was it fun to build, costs, transportation, all the things that I've covered. Feel free to discuss that in the comments section as well. But that's the video. I hope it's giving you a good idea of what to expect of these. Keep a lookout for more Start Collective videos. Check out the other factions that I've already covered in videos that have been put together. Check out the channel here for the painting tutorial. The in-depth painting tutorials over on the Plus channel. Thanks for watching, and tune in next time.